Silence, stillness, darkness. The author of life lays lifeless between four stone walls. Covered in the earth, he willed into existence by the force of his imagination. Wrapped in cloth, beaten, bruised. Carried to this tomb in the arms of a stranger, forsaken by all earthly friends. Completely alone. A stone was rolled into place to seal the way. It was over. He was dead. The armies of heaven were wearing black. The powers of darkness had sounded victory. This was a moment of cold, hard finality, of death. So 3 days come and go. 3 times the earth spins on its axis, its maker fallen. For 3 days his disciples hide from the public eye, despondent and doubting. Had it all been a hoax? All they'd seen? All they'd heard? All they'd touched? Had they believed in him in vain? Their teacher, their rabbi, was dead, and their hope was with him in that tomb. They'd seen the miracles, sight to the blind, healing for the sick, even the dead raised back to life. But they had also heard the crowd as it hurled its insults at him on the cross. He saved others, but he can't save himself? Was the mob right? Had he been an imposter? He was, after all, dead. Yes, he was dead, but this death was different. Because he was different. Son of man, son of God. Death never had a chance against him. And as his body lay lifeless in that tomb, as darkness was reveling in its supposed victory, Jesus was busy ripping the very gates off of hell. Darkness had had its hour, and the sun was about to rise. Hope, life, light, resurrection. Suddenly, an unexpected, impossible twist in this plot. The black tomb floods with brilliant light. Its walls shaking. Jesus Christ, the first and last, the beginning and end. Breath filling his lungs, blood flooding his veins. He is alive. Death and darkness tremble in terror as they watch. They flee the scene in defeat as Jesus folds the cloths he had lied dead in with his nail-pierced hands. He stands up, the stone rolls away, the angels surround, shouting his praise, and he walks into the light of morning. Alive, risen, victorious, the war with sin, death, and Satan over. His name forever glorified, his worth inexpressible, his power inexhaustible, his glory incomparable, his grace uncontainable, and his life eternal. He faced death on its own turf and he beat it, proving once and for all that his light shines in the darkness, and the darkness has not, cannot, will not overcome it. You see, death spent all his strength on killing Christ. In killing him, he killed himself. Death is just a shadow of what he would have been. But Jesus is alive. Jesus holds the keys. Jesus is seated on the throne once and for all, having opened the way for man to be at peace with God. And church, we are alive because he lives. We are free because he reigns. And we will rise because he rose. So what then should we say to these things? Where, O death, is your victory? Where, O death, is your sting? For Christ is risen, and he's risen indeed.